Namah Shivaya. So our spiritual system is made out of the chakra system, and how the kundalini energy moves from the Muladhara chakra all the way to the Swadhisthana chakra. Okay, so people think this will feel like some electricity going up your spine, but that's not how it feels at all. Okay, it has a journey, and first journey is that the Muladhara has to expand. It has to expand so much that it has to go about 100 kilometers into the earth. You should have that much of energy. That much of grounding is required to take this all the way up. Okay. And if you're able to ground your Muladhara that much, just by breathing into it, using the Pran Mudra Kriya, okay, you hold the Pran Mudra and you breathe. That's all. Finished. Okay. Hold Pran Mudra and breathe. That's all you have to do while focusing on the Muladhara, which is at the base of the spine. So there's a spine, this is the spine. This is your back. So this is your back, this is your spine. This is your tailbone. Inside the tailbone here is the Muladhara. Got it? This is your spinal cord. This is your tailbone. Come little inside. Before the anus starts, there's a soft spot. That is called Muladhara chakra. It's like a drum. So every time you breathe in there, dum, dum, dum. Every breath goes dum, dum. And then you start increasing your Muladhara. So that's how the spiritual journey begins. People have not done enough of this, who have not built enough energy into the Muladhara. There is no spiritual journey. How does the spiritual energy of the Muladhara get wasted? The spiritual energy of the Muladhara is called Virya. Okay? Virya, which means courage. And what do you call it? Warriorhood. Okay? Warriorhood. That's what it is. So your warriorhood will go away and you will become a victim. The opposite of warrior is victim. Okay? So that's what will happen if you're not able to beat this drum. Thud, 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 thud. If you don't beat this drum a lot, your Muladhara's energy will not grow. Okay? So you can do it either with this, or you can chant the mantra Lam and feel that that part is beating. Lam, 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 Lam. You can keep saying it in your mind until you feel that place vibrating with Lam, 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 Lam. And then the energy will start building a few meters, a few meters, a few meters, starts getting bigger, bigger, bigger. It's like an upturned lotus, inverted lotus. So the energy of the Muladhara is like an inverted lotus going right into the earth. Goes in waves. Okay, waves. Right in. But it's following the form of a lotus. And you look at it from far, it looks like an inverted lotus. If you go close, you'll realize it's not constant, it's waves. The energy is like vibrating. Okay. So this vibrational energy has to be developed and kept stabilized. It's called Virya. Virya connects you deep into the earth like a tree. Nobody can shake you if you have Virya. Okay. But everyone's missing this in their life, right? You haven't begun on your spiritual journey unless you have accumulated Virya. If you don't have Virya, you can't start on this journey. This is the most courageous of journeys to be spiritual. That means you have to give up everything that society has taught you. Everything is wrong. Just everything. Okay? It's hard to find one right thing that has been taught in social teaching. Okay? So you have to like stand up against all of that, and then only your spiritual journey begins. For people to accept that as valid instead of the mandates that they have given you. Nobody expects any social mandate out of me, like get married, have kids, go to a job. Look at me. How can they expect that? Okay? It's not possible. So in a similar way, they'll start expecting better things from you. People expect from me that I should serve society, which I'm doing. I love to do it. Okay? So you should have that reputation. Understand? Not a reputation of a playboy. You should have the reputation of somebody who does good work in society. That's how I want all my students to be. Okay? And I don't care if you get married, you don't get married. That's not the point here. The point is you shouldn't lose virya. You heard that, right? No? No. Okay. There's a big truck going by. And my neighbor's drilling something. You can't hear all that, right? Great. I love this mic. Okay. So this is one of the ways to lose virya is to blindly comply. If you blindly comply without agreeing with something, somebody will tell you to do something, go to school, and you won't agree with it, but you'll still go. Somebody say, go to college, you go to college, you won't agree with it, but you'll still go. So when you don't agree with your heart with anything, and you're just doing it to avoid trouble, that time you lose a lot of virya, you'll become a victim. That's the first step to becoming a victim. Okay. The second way to lose virya is fantasy. Okay. Start fantasizing about things that you have not yet earned. You haven't earned it, but you're living as if it's your birthright to have it. And not doing one little bit of learning in order to get it. Okay. So fantasizing is the second way to lose virya. Also, to just create another reality. You know, there are some people who think that aliens are going to attack them, or some people who think that the government is watching everything that they do. You know, so that's a nice way to live in a fantasy world and like lose virya. They lose virya so much, they die soon. They get some disease and die because your virya is the basic energy on which your body runs. If your body doesn't have enough virya, it will start shutting down. Okay. Now the third way that people lose virya is feelings of injustice. What does that mean? That means you feel that something unjust has been done, either to you or to someone else. It doesn't matter. Then that means you don't understand the justice system. Justice is always delivered when the person is powerful. Do you know any powerful person who's not getting justice? No. That means they're not powerful if they're not getting justice. Okay. So by definition itself, if you are not powerful, you won't get justice. And if you don't get justice, don't be surprised. It's your lack of power. So what should you do? You should build more virya. You should meditate more and build more virya. Instead of that, what do? You say that the world is unjust, and then you lose even what little virya you have, that will also go. Just gone. Okay. Then the fifth way is, in this mindless compliance also, how people follow trends or they feel peer pressure to do something. That is also included. Okay. Social and peer pressure and having to do something trendy, not really wanting to agree with it. Everyone is smoking, so I also have to smoke. You'll lose virya. Okay, like that. So you should avoid all that. Then the fourth way is fear. Fear makes people do a lot of horrible things. Fear makes people lie a lot. Okay. Everyone who's lied to you is because they were afraid of something. You understand? So show more compassion with those who lie because they are actually afraid. Okay. Don't go jump on them and then tell them, why did you lie to me? Don't start. They're afraid to say it to you mostly. Or they feel that you're not worth telling it to because you won't understand. Okay. So that's what lying is. Somebody's lying to you. Either they think you're too stupid to understand, or they're too afraid to tell you because they're afraid of what you'll do or how you'll judge them or how you'll see them after that. Okay. That's why they lie to you. So when you start saying this is unjust, people are lying to me, that means you haven't built that power where you will hear truth. That power is called compassion. If you're not radiating compassion, people will not be truthful with you. Okay. If people think you're going to punish them for not saying the truth, they'll not say the truth with you. They'll keep avoiding. But even if you're compassionate, people can avoid telling you because of fear. They're just afraid. They don't have any proof to be afraid. Fear doesn't need proof. You can be afraid of snakes, even if there's no snake. You can be afraid of dogs, even if there's no dog. Okay. You can be afraid of death, afraid of heart attack, afraid of something else, even when there's no heart attack. No heart condition, still afraid of heart attack. I've met so many people like that. Which is this pain on my left side, this pain on my left side. Do you think it's a heart attack? I said, no, just don't. Don't lose virya, I tell them. This strange advice that don't lose virya. How to do that? Concentrate on your Muladhara chakra, hold pran mudra and breathe into it. And feel it vibrate lum 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 lum. Lum 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 lum. Every time you breathe, it goes lum 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 lum. And it increases your energy. It gets bigger and bigger. And you'll feel the vibrations there. Okay? And you build your virya. And of course, you need to change all this. You should stop all these fears. I'll tell you how to do that later. But you please understand the obstacles. The solution is just one thing. Okay? So another obstacle is how people lose is expecting more than they are capable of. It's called entitlement. Entitlement. Okay. You're not done the work to deserve something, but you feel that it should come to you, even if you've not done that. That entitlement makes you lose energy. And disagreement. If you and someone do something like, let's agree to disagree and still work together, then there'll always be that resentment, but you don't agree about this one thing about me. That'll always be going on. You lose energy to that. So continuing to work with people who you disagree with, but as if nothing has happened, you will lose your energy. You will lose your virya. Okay? You have to sort it out. You have to come to agreement with everybody in your life. You have to come to agreement. Okay? Sometimes the agreement can be that we are not good for each other. Bye-bye. Or sometimes you can say, I am not willing to be here. Bye-bye. That's also okay. That's also coming to agreement with. Okay? That is agreeing to disagree. That is the real agreeing to disagree. You agree to disagree and you still continue together, that's the problem. You will have losses of energy every day like this. Okay? Doing such shit like agreeing to disagree. I hate that phrase. Agreeing to disagree means I'm going to leak energy while I work with you. Okay? And you will also leak energy, seeing that person leaking. So then the next way to leak energy, injustice we covered, right? Injustice is not just you, it's about the world also. You can feel that this is so unjust that animals are being killed. I should become vegan. It's coming from a sense of injustice. That means you don't have enough energy. If you build enough energy, you won't feel that. You'll understand nature's way, nature's justice of power, you'll understand. Okay. So you got to maintain your virya. So people can make you lose your virya also by rejecting you. Okay. So what they'll do is they'll come and put pressure on you to do something, and when you can't do it, even maybe you don't want to do it, but when you can't do it, they'll reject you. And they'll say that you're completely useless. Or they'll at least behave in such a way that you're a despicable human being. So when somebody is doing that, you will lose energy. Okay. But if you say, I don't want to lose energy in this stupid thing, you can learn what I'm about to teach you next, which is the beginning of the spiritual journey. So protecting the Muladhara energy is the beginning of the spiritual journey. If you don't protect your Muladhara energy, it will just wither away. Okay? And it affects every area of your life, every area of your life. Even if you're having good planetary conditions, you can't take the energy coming from the planets. You will just like waste it out. Things will waste out. Okay? You can get 8 hours of sunlight and you'll still be sick. You can get like complete dark at night and still be sick if you lose energy in these ways, in these emotional ways. Okay. So emotional healing is the beginning of the spiritual journey. Stopping all the leaks is called emotional healing. This is where everyone begins their spiritual journey. And if anybody's got a chronic disease, he or she has lost energy in one of these ways. You can just look and see. They would have lost in one of these ways. Okay. Maybe you guys know more ways. This is what I have come across. But I'm sure you can lose energy in more ways. But it's usually one of these. If anyone wants to add to the list, you can write it in the chat box, and then we'll add it to the list. Okay, but now I'm going to tell you how to get over with it, because everything, every way that you lose energy can be cured by only one thing. Does anyone know what it is? Only one thing you have to change. If you change this one thing, then you just won't lose energy from the Muladhara. Just one shift. That's it. So easy. Okay, how to do it? I've been telling you guys many times, but like nobody remembers, nobody understood, nobody has the 2 minutes of stillness to understand what I'm saying. Okay? No, it's not shut up inside. It's not shut up inside. Okay? Swamurti, lose interest. No, nobody's heard it. Amazing, right? You see how we are Mahishasur. Since inside Shiva's ear, there is Chandikeshwara. So Shiva can't hear what you're saying. You have to tell Chandikeshwara. Inside your ear is Mahishasur. So I have to talk to Mahishasur only. I cannot talk to you. Okay, Virya, Lava, everybody's wrong. Can you see? Okay, I've been mentioning this like quite often. Holding the bandhas. No, none of it. The frame, job industries. No, none of it. I mentioned it before. Okay, don't worry. I'll tell you. This time you pay attention. Okay. Now that all this drama happened and you're wrong, now you can pay attention and get it. Okay. So finally, I have your attention. It is your itihasa. No, it's not connecting to the floor of earth. It is itihasa. It means history, personal history. What story do we tell about ourselves to ourselves? Okay, that's all. That story which we tell about ourselves to ourselves creates our sukshma sharira or swamurti. Both are same. Subtle body. I told you many times you're walking around in a shapeless subtle body because your story is some khichdi of when you were born to something about your country, and that's it. And how you travel. It's a chronicle of your small life. Okay. It doesn't have the glory that is required for your spiritual journey. Spiritual journey cannot be undertaken by an ordinary person. So if you have an ordinary story, you can't undertake a spiritual journey. It's just not possible. And what is the spiritual journey? I'll tell you. I'll take you on the whole journey today. Okay. Like I'll show you uh, I'll show you a reel, a short version of what is a spiritual journey using the chakras as the ladder. The chakras are the ladder to climb in a spiritual journey. Okay. So you need to sort out, the next thing you need to sort out is your itihasa. If you are going to attach to the itihasa of the ordinary people that you know, you will have their ordinary life and you will die soon. And your life will have no meaning. By the time you gain enough wisdom to do something, you would have lost your youthfulness. Imagine if I have all this wisdom and I have an old man's body, how bad would I feel? I'd feel like committing suicide, honestly. So you have to maintain your youthfulness along with your wisdom. As your wisdom grows, so here's youthfulness, here's wisdom when you start off. Okay, this is wisdom. It's low when you start off in life, in your 20s. And slowly the wisdom starts growing. But guess what's happening? So wisdom starts growing, but guess what's happening to the youthfulness is coming down as the wisdom is going up. At some point, you'll be wise, but you would have completely lost youthfulness. Completely. And so you'll spend 2 wise years and die. This is the ordinary journey versus the spiritual journey. You maintain your youthfulness and your wisdom, and both of them grow. Okay, they grow together. You become wiser and wiser, and you're becoming more and more youthful, more and more youthful, more and more youthful, wiser, 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 more youthful, more youthful, more youthful. That's what you want. That is an extraordinary journey. It's not for ordinary people. If you lose your virya, you can't do this. Because virya is that secret power that if you lose, you cannot undertake this journey. You'll crash somewhere. You'll not make it. You'll reach your death before you make it. Okay? So you have to take me very seriously. It's a matter of life and death. People think there are other matters of life and death, but this is the only matter of life and death. That if you lose your virya, you're going to die. Now, another great way of losing your virya is ejaculation for men and periods for women. Okay? Both are equally bad for virya. You'll say period is natural and ejaculation is natural, and yes, it's natural ways which are bad for you. Okay? If you lose the virya and these meaningless things, then you'll become very, very weak. Those who masturbate 3, 4 times a day will get very weak. They'll not have any strength at all. I mean, the men. The women can masturbate 4, 5 times a day, no problem. Nothing will happen. You'll increase the Muladhara energy. So, while masturbating increases Muladhara energy, ejaculation brings it down. You have to be aware of this. You please check. I'm not making this up. You can experience it yourself. Okay. And the periods, every woman feels a loss of energy. Okay, so you can divide that by 30 and you'll see how a man feels every day after ejaculating. He feels like 1/30th of your period every day. So that's why men don't have energy anymore because they're busy losing their virya. They're spilling out their semen too much. Okay. So at my age, you should do it like twice in a month. You can ejaculate twice in a month and you'll be okay. At a younger age, in their 20s, maybe you can do it 4 times and you'll be still okay. But if you do any more than that, you'll start losing your virya. And you have to develop your virya by raising your kundalini. As it starts getting higher and higher and higher, the virya starts getting used upwards. It goes all the way to the head, to the top of the head, and it becomes tejas. At that time, you're not in much danger of losing the virya. So if you've taken all the virya from the semen, by masturbating but not ejaculating, and taking it all the way up and storing it here on the top of your head, then if you ejaculate after that, you will not lose virya. You'll continue to have this volume of virya downstairs. Okay. So this is something you need to pay attention to. Keep throwing out your energy and then wonder why you're not progressing spiritually. Why I still have these problems. Okay. I'll tell you why. Now, solution to all this, including virya loss by masturbation, ejaculation, and even ejaculation during sex for men is really bad. Okay? So if you don't know how to control it, then you keep losing virya. That means you have to practice it. As you keep practicing controlling your ejaculation, you will see that you're able to orgasm without ejaculating. But you need to stick to it and practice it. You'll be like, wow, why was I wasting so much semen all my life? Okay? So you'll be able to hold it. And then you'll become a man with self-control. Otherwise, you'll be a man who's out of control. There's nothing more ugly than a man who's out of control. Okay? Because men can be very violent due to the testosterone that they have. An out of control man is a violent man. He may not be physically violent, but he'll be violent in other ways, emotionally or financially or some other way. Yeah, he'll become capable of cruelty. That's what will happen. Okay. So you have to be very careful. When people are low on virya, they do desperate things. They attack others just to feel better, just to feel something else other than their loss of virya and the horrible mind that comes with it. When you lose virya, there's a horrible mind, neurotic. Okay. That's why I tell people you can either be erotic or neurotic. You can't be both. You should pick one. Keep your virya or lose your virya. You can't be both. Okay. It's just not possible. And people think this is not a matter of life and death. Every time you lose virya, you age. Every time you retain the virya, you reverse age. Okay? Good. So are you ready for the secret, the great secret of how you can... I already told you, it's itihasa. So your personal history has to not be disrespectable. It has to be extremely respectable, your personal history. How to do that? Because what has happened has happened. You can't change it. That is what yoga diksha is. So when you meet a guru, your history gets attached to the history of the lineage. What is the lineage? First Shiva, then Parvati, then Nandi, then Agastya, then my guru, Mahatar Babaji, then me, then you. That's a lineage. That's a spiritual lineage of miraculous beings from whom you are getting that lineage. So your life also has to be a miracle. It can't be with ordinary experience. It can't be an ordinary experience because now you're connected to this lineage and you're learning from it. So you have to cut yourself off from social lineage where there is too much ordinariness and loss of virya. But you have to connect to a lineage where there is no loss of virya. So now, with that itihasa, your swamurti will become like a siddha. If you have enough energy in the Muladhara, the swamurti will form. Out of the Swadhisthana, the swamurti forms. Okay? The swamurti can be a very big energy field around you. Some people can have themselves with 10 heads, some people can have themselves with wings, some people can have themselves however. But that swamurti really matters. So depending on what I want to do, I have like 5 forms that I can take. The horse, the Garud, the boar, Hanuman, and Narsim. These are the 5 rupas I can take in my Swarupa, my Swamurti. Okay, these are the 5 rupas of my Swamurti. I can do this. And when I'm in the Swamurti, even my physical body changes. If I'm in the horse Swamurti, Hayagriva Ashwin twins Swamurti, okay, with the horse head. When I have that Swamurti, I'm able to heal people. Like that's what I did to Dr. Radha today. She had a lot of fever, and here she is. She broke a sweat and she's okay. Right? Fever gone. So like that, you'll be able to heal people depending on the Swamurti. When I have the eagle Swamurti, I can protect. When I have that is a Garud. And when I have the Hanuman Swamurti, I'm able to be very physically strong. Like, I mean, everything is physically strong. When I have the Varaha Swamurti, then I'm able to create wealth, like a lot of wealth. So now I've got these different Swamurtis. It's basically the 5 faces of Hanuman itself. And how did I get this? Because I'm connecting to a miraculous lineage. That's why I'm able to have it. You say, okay, oh, you made Hanuman, I'll make Ganesh. It won't happen unless you are completely convinced that your social lineage is not your lineage and your spiritual lineage is your actual lineage. To do spiritual things, you need a spiritual lineage. To do social things, you need a social lineage. Okay? Sir, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಪ್ರವಚನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. So that is your spiritual lineage, and you need to correct it. You have to be curious about who's Shiva. Read the Shiv Puran. You want to know who's Devi? Read the Devi Puran. You want to know who's Nandi? He'll be covered in both the Purans. No? You want to read about Agastya? I'm sure is there in some Puran. Google it. Okay, read about it. And then you'll understand what are these miraculous beings. Oh, I have the same lineage. I'm like them. I have the same lineage. That means I'm just a small version of them. When you start feeling that way, you will not lose virya. Why? How can you be a small version of Shiva and masturbate 4 times a day? You can't. You have to contain the virya, right? So in a similar way, How can I do this? How can I do that? How can they do this? How can they do this? All that will go because you're sitting in a very secure samurti. Because I'm part of this lineage now. Otherwise, you'll behave like an anath, like nobody's there for you. No? Before you meet a guru, if you behave like an anath, it's okay. After you meet a guru, you continue to behave like an anath. That's why Hanuman stands like this. One whack and then you'll wake up. Okay. You have to understand that when you get connected to an akhada, you're being looked after by the akhada. And your lineage becomes this. This miraculous lineage is now your lineage. So you behave like you're a miracle. Don't do ordinary things. Your determination and courage should be noticed by everyone in your life. And they should say, my God, I want to be like him or her. That's the energy with which you have to live. Your Swamurti should be so powerful. Okay. And then the energy will move into creating that reality, manifesting that reality. The chakra of manifestation is the navel. Only when you have a Swamurti will the life that Swamurti can lead start to manifest. The spiritual life will come. The spiritual life is physically comfortable. Spiritual people don't have physical problems like making a living. Okay. Even the sadhus who live in the mountains, they don't sit and make a living. Their students will bring food for them. They don't have to do anything. Okay. A person on a spiritual journey should easily sort out the issue of making a living. They shouldn't be wasting time in this. It's a complete waste of time. Making a living is a waste of time. It's okay to grow your own food and, farm your own food, grow your own food, catch your own food, and then make it. I would invest time in that because that is a wonderful thing. But I wouldn't invest time in making a living. I would rather go to the river and catch a fish and fry it. Okay. Yes, I had to pay for the tawa and the oil and everything. But I don't want to be making a living, like just to pay for tawa and oil. It's just like, I just need something like another river. That river is a cash river. It's a cash flow. Cash is only useful when it flows. If it sits somewhere, it's not that useful. It has to sit somewhere and produce an interest. If it's just sitting somewhere, it will reduce in value. Okay? Because of something called inflation. So you guys should study some basic economics to understand that we live in a debt cycle. In a debt cycle, cycles are inevitable. Because when the interest rates are low, there's high borrowing. When the interest rates are high, there's low borrowing. So the cash flow in a debt cycle goes in a cycle. There's an ebb and a flow, and an ebb and a flow, and an ebb and a flow. All right. But you have to increase your productivity. Productivity means doing more things in less time. That's what productivity is. When you have a good Swamurti, that will happen. You're like, does Shiva make a living? Does Parvati make a living? Are they going to office 9 to 5? How can you have a Shiva Swamurti and walk into Infosys? It's not possible. No, Infosys will collapse. So you can't set foot in there. You have to have a very small Swamurti. No? It's a less than Narayan Murti, Swamurti, that you have to have to work in Infosys. Really, you can't have a very big Swamurti and be in a corporate job. I'm telling you this. Okay? It's not a great Swamurti to have. So you have to figure out some way. But when your Swamurti increases, you will be able to figure it out. When you start connecting to the Siddha lineage, you'll find it unaesthetic to go to work. You'll say, this is not suiting. This is gas. Look at me going to work, earning a living. This is such gas. I don't want to have this gas in my life. And then you'll say, I need to figure this out. You'll start thinking about it. You'll start learning. You don't need any motivation. People who say, I don't get motivated. I start something with great enthusiasm and then I stop. What do you think they're describing? They pumped up the Mooladhara and now it's empty. They got excited about something and now it's empty. And now they don't have anywhere to go. Okay? How many times in your life will you do that? Just when are you going to stop this shit? Is what you'll have to ask yourself and connect to the real lineage. When you connect to the real lineage, your Samati is so big. Oh, wow. Okay, great. I'm Agastya. Wait, I should be fighting with my wife. I'm connected to the lineage of Agastya. This is what I came on earth to do. Be dissatisfied and unhappy with everybody in my life. Then you say, man, this is unacceptable. It's not aesthetic. No. It's like taking a famous painting and then putting black marks on it. Your Sumurti will look ugly if you have all these black marks on it. And you say, I can't do this. And then you'll say, yeah, I want to be more aesthetic. And then you'll start getting aesthetic things. Then you'll stop being this beggar for love, going and begging everyone for love and then losing energy when they reject you. I told you, rejection is a way to lose energy. Go beg everyone, beg me, please love me, please love me, please love me, please. You know, when people love you, when you're useful to them, you're absolutely no use, then you're entitled to their love. They're not going to love you if you're not any use to them. Yeah, including your children. If you're useless to them, they won't love you. They'll stop loving you. Okay? So you say, wow, that's so unaesthetic. Oh my God. I mean, even if you think that you're Guru Pashupati student, they'll be like, wow, how can I have such negative emotions? Have you seen me crying on every big podcast? What have you seen me do? Talking about difficult subjects with clarity in a good mood. And what do? Ask yourself, okay? If you're connected to the lineage, then you won't have this problem. You'll be like, yeah, this is not aesthetic. I can't have a shabby mood. I can't be upset with everybody and everybody about anybody and everybody about everything and anything. I don't have time for this. I can't lose my video on this. Sorry, I'm too cool to be distressed. That's my aura and my vibe. I'm too cool to be distressed. Why you don't have that cool aura? Who are you connected to? You see, you haven't observed anything like what happened in your life. Yoga came in your life, a guru came in your life, and it went away. Hmm? One zebra can walk through your street right now, and you say, painted donkey. And then you'll continue with your same ordinary life. You won't say, wow, my life is good today. There's a zebra in my life today. That's not what you'll say. Okay. So you see someone from a Siddha lineage who's in your life, and then you're like, this is a painted donkey, for sure. And you continue with your life like nothing happened. You meet a guru and you behave like an anath. And then what happens? So this is the point everyone is missing. You're connected to your social lineage. You're definitely going to have a social experience in your life. You want to have a spiritual experience in your life, you have to connect to a spiritual lineage. Okay, you ask yourself, what is your identity? I am the daughter or son of neurotic parents who have neurotic parents who had neurotic parents. Nobody in my entire lineage has been erotic ever. They never maintained the virya and then done something amazing. Or maybe you have an amazing grandfather, but you forgot to teach it. You know, you heard about it. Some people are telling you, my grandfather was a wrestler. My grandfather was a king. But if you connect to that lineage, it's good. So this guy whose grandfather was a wrestler, he's also tough. He's strong, like a wrestler. But now if he wants to become spiritual and have a spiritual, magical, miraculous lineage, the ability to do miracles, what does he have to do? He has to give up the grandfather lineage because the grandfather died of old age. He didn't maintain his youthfulness. His wisdom grew, and then his youthfulness went, and he died. Okay? So then you have to connect to a spiritual lineage if you want to grow. You have to understand what you want to choose. When you choose ordinariness, your life will be ordinary. If you choose miraculous, your life will be miraculous. That's all it is. So from there, the power starts growing to match that self-image. When the self-image becomes like a siddha, then your power starts growing like a siddha. Your physical body will change. Your voice will change. Your posture will change. The size and shape of your body will change. Everything changes. And when all that changes are happening, even your thinking will change. Your thinking will become so powerful that you can see the obstacles to all your goals. You'll take them out and you'll go towards your goals. Nobody can stop you. You don't need techniques. You need an identity. You need a new identity. Whoever you are is capable of getting whatever you're getting right now. Okay? If you want to get something else, you have to change who you are. Remember this. Etch it in your mind. You're getting what who you are is capable of getting. You want something else? You have to change who you are. So don't complain about your life because it's what who you are is capable of getting. Is that too complicated to understand? No, right? Simple. Simple. I hope you understand now. I hope you remember. No? People's memories like, I learned so much wisdom today, let me forget it. Okay. Then when you start building the Manipura chakra, it is like a lotus that goes into the sky from all directions, goes into the sky. Okay? It's a 12 petal lotus. It goes into the sky. And it's a golden red lotus. Golden red. And wealth will pour on you if you have this. Okay. According to my dasha, I should not be making money at all. According to my astrology, I have a very bad time from the past 18 years. But I have a lot of money. How's that? Because I did not connect to the social lineage. I connected to the miraculous Siddha lineage, which taught me that from Shiva came Shakti, then came the Jiva, and from the Jiva came the Panchamahabhutas, which created the universe. So I know that everything is my own creation as a Jiva. No? That will give you some flex, no? That you created everything. When I tell people you created everything, they can have two reactions. One is, wow, awesome. Or the other reaction can be like, I'm no good. See what I created. Both are okay. Because you'll wake up after that. You'll say, ah, shit, it's just that lineage. Yeah, he told me this. He told me this. He told me this 8 to 10 times. And I finally got it on one Sunday. Okay? How you change your itihasa, how you have to change your lineage, how you have to change your personal history to create a beautiful future. And when that future is created, it's created when your Manipura grows into the sky. Then here in your heart is your anahata. This is the energy of protection. Okay. Raksha. So anahata is usually 22 feet for people. That's why they have a protective range of 22 feet. It's a very weak magnetic field. And it's toroidal in shape. Okay, look it up. What is toroidal? It's a cylinder in the center from which radiation is coming out like this. It's fixing back in. Okay, the center is hollow. So there's a hollow center from which all this is coming and it's coming back in. That's and it's 22 feet for an ordinary person. But for a Siddha, it's connected to the earth itself. A Siddha's anahata is connected to the earth itself, which is why Siddha can go anywhere without getting harmed. Wild animals will come, kiss a Siddha and go. Lick a Siddha and go. But they'll not harm. Like leopards and all have come just licked, kissed and gone. You'll get scratched by leopards lick. Leopards lick is like a sandpaper. Okay? And this has happened. Even bears. Bears come and kiss and then they go. Because the magnetic field of the earth is like that. You don't need protection from anything. Where I have lived in the wilderness without anything, just one stick. That's it. Okay. You'll be able to do that too. If your heart chakra, anahata, is becoming so big, the magnetic field connects with the earth itself. So instead of having a separate magnetic field, your magnetic north is the earth's magnetic north. And you're always like that all the time. The earth is also a toroidal field, goes along the poles. Then your spine becomes the axis of the earth. It's a different kind of power, but you don't even know what it is because you're busy being in a social lineage. Okay. All this has escaped you. This miraculous power of self protection has escaped you because of that. That's why I'm not afraid of anything. If your chakra is small, 22 feet, then you'll be afraid of anything that comes within that 22 feet. But if it's as big as the earth, you won't be afraid of anything that comes within the earth. That includes everything, right? Except Elon Musk returning from Mars. Everything else is in the earth's magnetic field. It's good enough for a good long life of 1,000 years. It's good. Okay. Then there's the throat chakra. From here, 8 petals are coming out. Okay. Have any of your grandfathers or fathers or anybody explained to you that 8 petals are coming out from here and 12 from here? And this is our lineage. Don't connect to that social lineage. It's not a spiritual lineage. It's a lineage of smallness where people live a finite life. They don't realize that they're infinite. They don't realize that they're immortal. And they live a very finite life. It's not a self-actualized life. It is, as my guru put it, sheer irresponsibility. I asked him, Guruji, what is death? And he said it's a sheer irresponsibility. At that time, I didn't understand, but I understood. Like, people are not taking the responsibility of throwing away their smallness, their connection with smallness, and connecting to greatness instead. Those who are not taking the responsibility of that, they will die. Every day they live, they get closer to their death. That's a fact. They don't get younger every day. They age every day. They die every day. And it can be measured also. You can measure the lack in energy field that's happening for them. Okay? All these energy fields can be measured. There are equipments to do it. I'm not making this shit up. Okay? So, there is a 8-petal lotus coming out of your throat in all 8 directions. It has 8 Vagdevis. Vashini, Kameshwari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jaini, Sarveshwari, Kauli. 8. And they're reclining on the lotus. But if you disturb the asana, if you shrink the lotus too much, and you don't engage in proper communication with people. So internal communication is called decision. The objective of internal communication is decision. You consider the pros and cons and you decide one thing. If you're not indulging in that, the lotus shrinks. Communication externally, the process is agreement. These are the only 2 goals of communication. Do not open your mouth for anything else. Internal communication, decision. External communication, agreement. And the continuance and maintenance of that agreement. That is all. Think about whatever you're saying. It has to come under the category of agreement. But people have another channel going called disagreement. They have this channel in their throat. And it sounds like... And they're listening, they're tuned into it all the time. It's called disagreement. Whatever harmonic comes in the surrounding, they want to disagree with it. Disagreement is the person who wants to cut everything. It's a serial killer. It's an energy. Okay. You'll become a serial killer when you disagree entirely with society, then you'll go and kill them. That's when you become a serial killer. Okay. Everything comes out of, all violence comes out of disagreement. Have you noticed? Show me two agreeing people who are punching each other. Why are you laying the door welcome mat for violence with disagreement? It didn't occur to you in this many years of existing on this planet that disagreement is the doorway to violence? Why have you opened this doorway? If you leave your door open, don't complain of mosquitoes in the night, okay? Because you left your door open. My door is not open for disagreement. They're like, no, no, no entry. You have to come from agreement door outside. Otherwise, you go. If you can't agree, you go. If you're not in the mood to come to agreement, you go. Such a simple thing, but it's made my chakras grow. Internally, I make decisions. Externally, I come to agreement. This is the only dharma. Anything other than this you're doing is called adharma. Okay? Internally come to decision, externally come to agreement. If you're not doing this, you're an adharmi. Huh? In Islam, you would be called harami. Okay? Same thing. I just said it in Sanskrit. So do not be an adharmi. By using your power of communication for something else, building of disagreement. Everybody's busy building a disagreement. Abhorrence. Abhorrence is the next level disagreement. I'm abhorred by all the people around me, how they behave. What is this? Then why are you here? Get out. Go to some other place. Why are you sitting there? Are you a mushroom growing there? No. Check and see. Otherwise, make your omelette and eat it yourself if you're a mushroom. Okay. Great. So it's easy to check whether you're in disagreement or indecisiveness. If you're in disagreement or indecisiveness, think your head is going to get cut. This chakra will get so small. Anything can happen. From thyroid problems to cancer, anything can happen here. It's a voltage and electricity which has to be maintained here. If you reduce the voltage here, your health will go. You know the fastest way to be sick? Indecision and disagreement. Fastest way to be sick. Okay. You check everyone who goes to hospital, they have a pile of indecision and a pile of disagreement. That's why they end up in the hospital. What do we give them? Metformin and statin. But the problem is indecision and disagreement. That is too much of a problem to solve. You can't expect this from a doctor. You have to come to a yogi for that. Okay? You have to wake up and understand that you're being an adharmi. That you're not following a dharma. Don't expect good things to happen to you. Lord Vishnu has promised that he will kill you. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata. No? I will come and kill you. In this country, you can't stay in Bharat. You please go to Pakistan. No, Pakistan is also Bharat, sorry. It comes under Akhand Bharat. You go a little more. Go to Iran. Then you can live your adharmi life. But in the Bhagavad Gita has written that if you're living in Bharat, because Bharat is not an ordinary land, it was a land of Kamdev, okay? And Shiva killed Kamdev. He became first Pradyumna, then he died, then he became Bharata, after whom this country is named, Bharat. Okay? Bharata. So this country is called Bharatvarsh, where there is the reign of orgasmic light. Reign of orgasmic light is the name of your country. Okay? You please show me one country named Reign of Orgasmic Light. Please find me one country that's called that. See, you can be adharmi anywhere else. You can't be adharmi in Bharat. I'm sorry. I don't care even if you're a foreigner and you live here. You cannot be an adharmi here. If you are an adharmi here, you'll get the consequences as promised by Lord Vishnu. And they're immediate. Comes like a lightning bolt. You'll be eliminated. That's why people are dying big time. Boom, 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 boom. Do adharma, die. Do adharma, die. Do adharma, die. Do adharma, die. Die. Those who follow the dharma, they live happily. Nothing happens to them. Those who come to decisions and those who come to agreement, no problem. No piles. No gout. No diabetes. No premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Nothing. They're good. Okay, those who follow the dharma. Dharma. No endometriosis. No. They don't have. Okay. No macular degeneration. Nothing. No arthritis. Nothing. We're not able to get any of that. Why? Good communication. This is the health chakra. Those of you who are struggling with health issues, this is what has happened in your life. Yes or no? Tell me. Tell me if there's adharma in your life or not. Or is Vishnu making mistake? You can tell him, no. Customer support. You can send an email. danda@vaikunta.com. Dear sir, I am convinced that I am dharmic and yet you have given me disease. Kindly revert at the earliest. Danda will come. I have attached your danda. When you click that attachment, more attachment will come. What do you think attachment is? Indecision. Shit is happening in that relationship, yet they're not making decisions about leaving or staying. That's called attachment. Yes, my boyfriend hits me, but I love him. Okay? Indecision. Adharma. You'll get danda. You're already getting danda for staying there. Physically, you're getting beatings. If you stay there even more, you don't make decisions, you'll get some more danda. Okay? That's why build the way out of all the material problems is to follow dharma. Build your virya, treat it as precious, link it to an itihasa, create an amazing swamurti, then create sadhana. When you do sadhana, you get dhana also. Everything comes. Okay? You will get everything. You have to work hard. Once you have samurti, you will not tolerate like low quality stuff. Like me and my energy body is so big, I can't stay in a small room, man. People visit and like, why is your room so big? It's like a swimming pool. Because I can't stay in a small room. It's not possible. It will feel suffocating. Okay? So you will grow out, your size will grow so much, your energy body size will grow. Everything in your life will start becoming in better quality. It just gets better and better. Everything in your life. And then once you have good communication, you're able to come to agreement about everything, and you're able to come to a decision about things that you don't agree with. Agree, make decisions, move out, or make decisions, fix it, whatever. Then you will come here. This is where you can see your bhavishya from your third eye. Here, this chakra. When the energy comes here, you can see the future. You're not just like next 6 months. You'll be able to see next 600 years or more. That's the kind of vision you'll start to develop. Okay? You start thinking, what will happen in the next 600 years if I'm alive? What will happen in the next 1,000 years if I'm alive? When you have that level of thinking, you know how big the agya gets? Huge. Can you see the agya is according to the size of what you're thinking? If you're thinking of tomorrow, your agya has to become this small. The energy has to get this small. But if you're thinking more than tomorrow, then bigger, 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 bigger. You can see the energy building, building, building. Goes keep growing, keep growing, keep growing, keep growing. Okay. So think about 10 years from now. How far is it? How big has your agya to grow to perceive that? Are you able to perceive? 10 years from now, everyone will look into the distance. 5 years from now, you look little less in the distance. 2 years, you look little less in the distance. 1 year, little less in the distance. Tomorrow is very close. Yes? Is everybody having this experience? Okay. Why is that? That's the energy of your agya expanding. If the energy of your agya is accustomed to thinking of 100 years, it'll extend to the edges of your neighborhood. If your energy of the agya is accustomed to thinking of 1,000 years, it might extend to the corners of the world. Right? 10,000 years, it has to go outside this planet. Seriously. I feel even 1,000 years will go outside this planet, the energy of your agya. Why would you want to only be here for 1,000 years? You want to go to other planets. And that's what my guru does. He's the emperor of 18 planets. And there are so many life forms that I have seen staying with him, come and visit him. And I'm like, what is the vision of this person? I don't know. My vision is so small. I think of making a Gurukulam. What he thinks of making, I don't know. I can't imagine. If I could imagine, I would also be like him, made of light. So you need to sit and concentrate and practice, right? I can tell you because I'm a guru, I've done many years of practice, but that doesn't mean that I know everything. There are people much greater than me who really figured this out. And that's the lineage I subscribe to. That's why I could get miraculous things to happen. Okay. Those who visit the Akhada know that miraculous things happen. Something or the other will be happening here. Okay. So that's the energy. The moment you step into my street itself, you'll feel the energy of the Akhada existing here. It's like that. That's the kind of energy which is coming from your Agya actually. And you're looking at the future and the future of everything. And you're making your decisions based on that. Those who make their decisions based on a large timeline, those are the good decisions. If your decision matters 100 years later, it's a very good decision. It's a powerful decision. If it's going to make a difference 100 years later. Most people's decisions don't make a difference even next year. You'll be back to the same soup. So even those who make decisions, make feeble decisions without having the support of the bhavishya. Okay, so you have the future in your third eye. And then over here, this is the blessing zone. This is where we say that the right foot of Shiva is on your right side and the left foot of Parvati is on your left side. Okay, it's interchanged in this video. So when you send energy there, it starts to gently wash their feet. It is also a lotus. It's a 1,000-petal lotus. 1,000-petal lotus, imagine. So many petals and their feet are standing on the lotus and you're washing it with that energy. The lotus itself is an energy. It's washing their feet. Okay. So Shiva and Shakti are your true parents. Really, your real parents, your spiritual parents. Okay. From them you have come. And you should be at least something like Ganesh, at least. Okay, you have to have that kind of power. If you start washing their feet like that and you accept them as your spiritual lineage, as your spiritual forefathers, then what will happen? You'll get blessings, anugraha. Anugraha can just remove the effects of any graha or star or whatever. Graha nakshatra cannot affect you if you have anugraha. That's why it's so deep and so important for you to grow till there. Your energy has to reach from the bottom till here. Virya will get converted and reach here. Kundalini gets converted and reaches here. When Kundalini reaches here, she's called Nija Shakti. When Virya reaches here, it is called Tejas. It's the same way. It's the same thing. We're speaking about the same thing. So Virya, Kundalini, and everything are same. They're just different schools use different words. Okay. The spiritual journey is the same. No matter how you follow it, it is this journey what I now described. You can take any religion, any way, any teaching, any genuine spiritual teaching will raise your energy this way. And they will consider the right definition of adharma. Not eating this is adharma, or wearing this is adharma, or going to temple in your periods is adharma. It's not like that. This is the real adharma, deciding indecision and disagreement. These are the two adharmas. So you watch out for this and you'll be completely free. This is the spiritual journey. Now please watch this carefully many times and stop leaking energy. After watching this, if you're still leaking energy, you have to take Hanuman form. Okay. I will send danda for you. Okay. So watch it several times. All right. Okay. Who's got questions? Please put them in the chat box. Any questions? If you don't have questions, we'll close up, wind up for today. No, nothing. If you have no questions, write NQ so that we can end it. That means you understood everything. And from tomorrow, you're following Dharma. How do women stop losing virya and periods? There is a process called virya labha. You have learned it, right? You have to breathe up from your core, from your Muladhara. You have to pull the energy up all the way to and make it tejas in your head. Pull it up. Okay, this is after having an orgasm. If you have like where do women have orgasms anymore? Okay, so you have to give yourself one, and then when you have an orgasm, you can pull that energy. After the orgasm, then you can keep pulling that orgasmic energy up to your head. Okay. Before that, you lock it in. You use your left hand, you put it in your navel. This is for women, okay? For guys, it's the right hand. You can see. You put it in the navel. Watch. You have to put your left hand in your navel and then rotate like this. Anti-clockwise 36 times. And clockwise 24 times. Remember this, 36 and 25. For the guys, after you have orgasm but not ejaculation, then you put your right hand, rotate clockwise 36 times and anti-clockwise 28 times. I'm sorry, not 24, 28. Okay? These are the numbers of the sun and the moon. So clockwise 36, anti-clockwise 28 for men, for women, anti-clockwise slowly like this. 36, count and do, and reverse 28. So that locks in your energy in your stomach. I mean, in your Muladhara, it doesn't spill out anywhere, and then you pull it. It locks your navel so that it won't get stuck at the navel, it keeps going. It goes all the way to the top of the head. And you do it until you feel that you have stored all that orgasmic energy in the top of your head. Okay. So when you feel that, when that's what you feel you have done, you can stop. Okay. Good. All right. So is it clear? You got it? How women can store energy? Okay. You have to have orgasms. If you don't have that, then you cannot store energy. You will keep on losing energy during the period. In the prana meditation, does one build the energy up by pulling it upwards with focus, or does that naturally happen? Okay, yeah. Those who are doing the 64-day challenge, don't worry. Just follow what I'm instructing. It will happen. And is it okay to do this locking of energy during periods, or should be done before periods? It should be done before the periods. During the periods, don't do anything. Just leave it alone. But I mean, there are some people capable of having orgasm during the period also. You can store the energy from that. But you'll see that if you do this for one cycle, if you're doing every day, or if you're doing even alternate days, if you're coming to orgasm and storing energy, the period will be painless because all those muscles got to move and everything got arranged inside. But since you're not getting the contractions of the uterus, which is basically an orgasm, then it becomes very painful for the uterus to come off. Okay, so you need to keep moving it. Is there any need of social itihasa? Can social itihasa be created using spiritual itihasa? Yeah, so look, for a spiritual person, the only social itihasa is the relationship of seva, which means I do something, I fix one of your problems, and you compensate me accordingly. You give dakshina for it. That's all. So a spiritual person looks at their social itihasa as just seva. That's it. And what they receive is called dakshina. Okay. Okay. Everyone says got it. Any more questions? Or are we done for today? Cool. Please type NQ if you have no questions. Okay, no questions. Good. All right. Thank you very much. I hope this opened your mind to what is a spiritual journey. And now you'll have to watch it several times. I know some of you took notes, but even if you did, watch it several times, you'll add to your notes. Okay. So, very good. Take care. Om Namah Shivaya.